Welcome to another edition of the Empower Hour. I am AlQamar, and as you can see, my co-host Hanifa is not in the studio with us today. But we have a super duper special guest. This should be fun in the studio with us. He's here to share the hot topics in the news. So we're going to be sharing this discussion together. So he's here to help me out. My dear friend, Brother Edward X. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Again. Yes. You're kind of staple around these parts.
Mm-hmm. Praise be to Allah.
Yeah. We respect your point of view in a lot of different things, and you're so worldly in your views. And so I thought, who better to come and represent Hanifa in her absence than my brother Edward X.
Wakanda forever.
So, Facebook family, if you guys can hear us okay, hit the wow button and let us know if you can hear us fine. And where are you chiming in from? We'd like to know that as well. We're talking about hot topics in the news. If you want to call in and join our discussion, the phone number here is 240-455-5934. Again, that number is 240-455-5934. What is your hot topic? What's going on now that you in the airwaves that's mulling around that you want to discuss? So we want you to join our discussion as well. So we're going to jump right in.
Well,
Brother X.
You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about the October 14th, 23rd anniversary of the Million Man March, the address of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
And it rocked the house, and it was taken off YouTube because
I heard.
YouTube said that it violated hate speech or something like that. And so I just wanted to point that out, you know, because on YouTube you probably can go to YouTube and watch anything dealing with any topic, but a man who is trying to reform our community and uplift us, his words are being censored. So that just only goes to show who that man is to me. That's a witness bearer to the greatness and the revolutionary spark of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
And what I find fascinating, and I watched that, and I'm glad I did get a chance to. Well, you can always go on NOI.org to catch it, so you don't have to watch it on YouTube. You can go on to the Nation of Islam's website and catch it. But I did, and that's where I watched it from. And I watched the whole thing, and it was powerful as usual. That Minister Farrakhan do what he do. He's brilliant in that form and bringing us the information in a riveting way. But the Jewish community has been on his back a whole lot. Well, they've always been, but here lately. I think the goal is to get him off the social media platforms altogether. They want him removed, period, from all of them. And so as they do, they band together because they're good at unifying. That's how they stay so powerful. That's something we can learn from them. So they band together, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the major social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
And they did the same thing on Netflix.
That's another good point, to get him removed. What do you
Well, think? The first thing that I would come to mind is that if the minister is a liar and a hate teacher and an anti-Semite and a bigot, then you think that the white world will want to show everybody, look at this man. You would think, rather than censoring him, you would think logically that we're going to put him in front of everybody. Listen, he's going to say it. He's going to make a mistake. But here's a group of people that wants to quiet his voice. They don't want people to see him. They don't want people to hear him. And then we have to begin to question that. And one of the things that I learned as a young Muslim, as a young conscious brother, when we come into consciousness, the things that make us smile usually make our oppressor frown. So we just have to understand that.
Yeah. And the minister has been offering them up for a debate forever, for the longest. I remember him on multiple occasions saying, okay, if what I'm saying is untrue, if what I'm saying are lies, then come join me and have a debate about these things that I say. They never do that. And another thing I find interesting is that where he said, well, prove me wrong. They never come with any concrete evidence to go against any of his claims. So it's like, so why are you wanting to silence him? You keep calling him and saying what he's saying is untrue, but you can't never prove what he's saying is not true.
Right.
And then what they do is they attempt to get, and sometimes they're successful with this, unfortunately, other black, quote unquote, so-called leaders to denounce the minister publicly.
Right.
Right.
Right. You know what? Which brings me to my next point. These are brothers that you know. Sarah Sutanseti. Mm-hmm. He calls himself General Sarah Sutanseti, and the young Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. They have been on a campaign against the minister.
Mm-hmm. And who are these brothers, for those who don't know?
They are a part, I don't even want to say they're a part of the conscious community, because it would be like to indict the entire conscious community with the foolishness that they bring to the table.
Okay.
So Sarah Sutanseti came on the scene, and he was
they're popular. Both are popular on the social media scene.
Right.
And they talk a lot about issues related to the conscious community.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And but lately, they have been trying to build themselves up by attacking the minister and attacking the Nation of Islam. And I got a problem with that for a number of reasons. But the main reason is that the minister is in his 80s. The minister has been consistent for our community for over 60 years. Mm-hmm. And he deserves respect. Mm-hmm. And in giving him the respect that he deserves, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that he says,
right,
or every move that the Nation of Islam makes. You don't have to agree with the minister point for point. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But your disagreement should never be used to disrespect a man who, because he looks young, he's still our elder.
How old is he?
85.
Okay. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been on the forefront for our people. And that disrespect, I can't take it.
Yeah.
I can't take it because,
Well, they're not the only ones who tends to like to throw shade and disrespect in our community at the minister, which I don't really understand either. I'm with you. I mean, he's been working out here, he transformed lives.
Right.
I don't care how you feel about him, but the truth and the proof is that, there's drug addicts and there's pimps and there's pushers and all these people who can testify that prior to listening to the minister's message, they were street thugs or whatever else you want to call them.
The white man is a street thug. I never referred to myself as a street thug. That's the white man.
Okay.
But I was the inner city equivalent of whatever we would call ourselves. I was never a thug,
respect. I can recant that and say
okay,
and use a different term.
Okay.
But they weren't the most model of citizens.
Right.
How about that?
I was the front
and
of the
after
line.
hearing the minister, they've changed their entire lives around
Right.
for the better. Respecting women, no drugs, no alcohol, even, being more respectable for themselves and for others, helping the community and all that stuff. So if this man has a track record of turning people's lives around, what is it that you hate so much about him?
I think that the biggest thing,
community.
I think the biggest thing is the envy and the jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of people, when you think you consider yourself a black leader, mm-hmm, and then you see what I would call Farrakhan swag, you want that swag. Mm-hmm. You want when you walk in, everything stops. When you walk through the airport, everything stops. When you walk in the hotel, everything stops. You want that. Mm-hmm. You want that treatment. Mm. But you don't want to put that work in. Mm. So as ego, we functioning off our ego, and
it's sad though. It's sad how
it's sad when
it's like
when you profess to be conscious, when you profess to be solution oriented, when you
Right.
profess to be a part of the people who are awoke.
Yeah, assist in helping to build up
Right.
the community, and those who are attempting to do that, you shoot them down every chance you get. I don't get that, but anyway, we can go on and on and on about the minister, and you know, his great body of work, and those who, you know, would disagree with us for whatever reasons. But we want to get into some other hot topics
Okay.
as well. This is not new information. It happened back in February. But did you know that Ethiopia banned foreign adoptions? Did you guys know that? I was surprised. I just heard about it. I figured I'd bring it up because
I just learned that this morning.
Oh, yeah?
I learned, you sent me a text this morning, and we were going over our topics, our talking points, and in realizing that, it made me to realize that how the European is draining Africa of its human resources. Like, you know, we know they're taking their natural resources, the gold, the oil, the zinc, the copper, etc. But they also draining Africa of its human resources, because you know that,
meaning the people.
Right. When we have people who are considered educated and they went to school in England or France or whatever, usually they don't return back to the motherland. They stay in Europe. And so then our resources are being depleted that way. And then by adopting our young, the babies. You know, I think that's a part of white guilt. You feel like you're giving back and you're doing something by adopting an African baby.
Yeah.
But what are you going to teach that baby culturally?
Yeah. You know what I heard from Quora? You ever want Quora? You familiar with Quora? It's a website. It's a.
I thought you were talking about Core Masters Berry.
Oh gosh, it's so silly. Quora is a site. It's fairly new, where it's like intellectuals go
Right.
to bounce ideas off of each other. So anybody in the world can ask any question, and anybody in the world can answer.
Right.
And the top answers, those who like, you know, then anybody can like, you like it just like on other social medias, and the top answers float to the top. So those are the ones you see. And it's always some very interesting questions. And somebody asked a question recently on Quora: why do so many Americans adopt foreign children? And somebody answered who was adopted by a foreign. They were, I believe, African, somewhere in Africa, and somebody in America adopted them. And they shared the reasons their parents told them was it's less hassle, going through the whole red tape and having to go through all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. It's less hassle when you adopt across borders, and the parents don't have to concern themselves so much about the natural parents coming back later for the child. I found that interesting. I was like, oh, so they want to alleviate those issues. So, because it's easier for a parent to come back and say, in America, and say, hey, that's my baby, I changed my mind, I want her back. And if you adopt overseas, it's not that easy to do that. So,
Because the parent doesn't have the resources, the economic resources to fight for their child.
yeah.
That's deep. I'm glad you pointed it out.
Yes,
because when you pointed it out, as you were talking, I was thinking about how construction companies, white construction companies in D.C., take small business owners and kind of push them out because they don't have the resources to compete in court. And so when you were talking about that, I just was thinking about construction. And
Yeah. So, but Ethiopia banned adoptions back in February.
Allahu Akbar.
A banned
Allahu
foreign
Akbar.
adoption. Their reason was they want you so silly. Their reason was they upon research and study, after a while, they realized that the children do better in their own culture, and they didn't want to take the children outside of their culture. And there was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of they were finding a lot of abuse going on with the children after they become adopted.
okay.
So, but that doesn't excuse the fact that, you know, because I hear a lot of people, you know, we like to complain and gripe about other people adopting African children, our
but
children, but we won't do it. So, you know, so it goes back to who really, it goes all back to self.
So you got mixed feelings about that?
No, I think it was a good idea for the Ethiopians to do, but then my concern is, okay, now who's taking care of the children? Who's gonna step up and help the children? If you're banning other people, so Anyways, what do you think?
Well, I'm against white people having black children.
Why? Because
of the cultural impact. Then we've been descendants of, in the Western Hemisphere, we've been descendants of slavery, and black people in Africa being descendants of those who were colonized. Mm-hmm. So the white man, in either instance, either he's the colonizer or the slave master's descendants. So that relationship is already fresh in my head. So I'm going to be against that type of interaction anyway. Mm-hmm.
So what is the
I think
solution?
That I agree that some black people should step up there and start adopting those black babies, those black children.
Yeah.
I think that onus is on us. That responsibility is on us.
Yeah. A lot of that has to do with resources too, though.
Right.
When you don't hold the bag full of resources in the world, and another culture does, they have the luxury of doing those type of things. So, anyways, what are we talking about? Kanye West.
Kanye West. I got mixed feelings.
Kanye West family.
I got mixed feelings about Kanye West. I got mixed feelings because, let me explain my mixed feelings. First of all, Kanye West is a rapper. He's not a political scientist. Mm-hmm. He's not a politician. Mm-hmm. He's not a black leader. Mm-hmm. He's not a visionary for our race. Mm. He is a rapper. Mm. So everything is about context. Mm-hmm. Placing him in the proper context of who he is.
Right.
As a rapper.
Right.
He does not speak for our community. Okay. As a representative.
Okay.
As a race man. However, most of the stuff Kanye West said, I definitely agree with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ironically, I definitely agree with, and I kind of didn't chime in because I saw the social media war of ideas and the war of perspectives. But when Kanye West mentioned the freeing of Chairman Larry Hoover, Growth and Development, GDs. You may know him as Gangster Disciples, but when he talked about freeing Larry Hoover, I thought that was big because Larry Hoover is a political prisoner and he's been locked up for a long time. And white people are afraid of any black person with influence. Any black person. We got to always understand since the first black foot steps his soul on the soil of the United States of America.
Yeah.
They've always been afraid of a black person that can have influence over the people. And so Larry Hoover having that type of influence in Chicago and indeed in the world, why not let him out? With the surge in killings in Chicago. You think a drowning man would grab a straw? So you think you would be open to any solution?
Right.
And so I was kind of very impressed with Kanye West for bringing that to the table, and I was impressed with President Donald Trump for his acceptance of that, saying that he would consider everything that was brought to the table. Mm-hmm.
What do you think about those who chastise Kanye for even meeting with Donald Trump? What is he doing there? He's a coon. He's all these words that they use because he actually went to sit and meet with him.
I don't agree with that. I mean, because if you gauge a person by meeting with somebody, all of the righteous people in the scriptures met with the wicked rulers. Moses met with Pharaoh.
What about the Make America Great Again hat that he wear?
I think he said "Make America Great" and just dropped the again. He said because when you say again, it make people think about slavery and the bad history. And so I kind of understood him from that. But I'm not trying to make America great. I believe, like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad believed, I believe in the fall of America. I want America to fall. I pray for it daily.
Oh, you scaring folks now. That kind of talk.
Well,
if you're just joining us, we're
the only way the black world can rise, the white world must go down.
This is the Empower Hour. If you want to join our discussion on hot topics, we're talking about hot topics inside and outside of the news. Join us and calling by 240-455-5934. That's the call-in hotline number if you want to get in on any of these discussions, or you have a discussion of your own outside of what we're just talking about. Kanye West. So, here's my thing about the whole Kanye scenario. What I find disheartening that we do as a community is that a lot of us, anybody who does not fall in line with our own personal views and opinions on matters, we slam the door completely on them. But not only will we slam the door, but before we slam the door, we tear them apart. We rip them apart like wolves. And I'm wondering, where does that behavior stem from?
Self-hatred.
Where does that come from? Because I remember stories about our not so distant past on the plantations of America where we were conditioned to go against each other. Because the field Negro and the house Negro, they had to keep them separated in order to run a smooth system, on the plantations. Because if too much unity, that's why the whole rules of the five slaves couldn't come together at any one given time. I forget the name of that rule, but anyway, because they understood the power of unity. If we get together too much, too often, too strong, then that means that could be detrimental for them.
Right.
Those who ruled over us. And so when I see how we rip at each other, like a Kanye West, when we disagree with what he says or some of the things he does, I wonder how does that help us in our unification process?
I don't think that black America really knows what it wants. Like, I don't think black America, 30 to 40 million people, have an agenda. Where do we go in 2019, black America?
Yeah.
What do we believe? What is our mood and our sentiment as black people? Like, I don't understand us as a collective. What do we stand for? Do we reward those who stand for us and punish our enemies? Like, what is our position?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of our positions, we had Malik Zulu Shabazz, brother, well, on the program with us last week, and he made a point. He said that we don't know any other way. We don't, when it comes to like voting, that's why we, go vote, go vote, go vote. But when we say, okay, so what is the platform? What is the mission? What is our goal in voting? What are we looking for? What does the future entail once we vote? I mean, what's the plan?
Right.
We have no plan. It's just go vote,
Right.
And so, and if we're honest with ourselves, we know that that's true.
Right.
And that is because we put so much weight and emphasis on things like that, like voting and the things that we are marching, things that we've always done.
Right.
Is because we've never been shown another way.
Right.
Or we really can't even fathom another way. So if somebody was like, don't you know there's another option besides voting to get what you want and need in this society, most of us would go blank.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard a white person say all white people are not alike?
No, I don't think so.
But you heard a black person say black people aren't a monolithic people, and we don't just, right?
I hear that a lot.
Right, and we the only people that do that to show our division and glorify our division. Black people aren't no monolithic people. All of us don't have to believe the same. Why not? The Jews believe the same. Why not?
When it comes to...
When Dr. John Henrik Clarke said that we must learn to practice the simple selfishness of survival.
Say that again.
We must practice the simple selfishness of survival.
What does that mean?
That means that we don't care what white people think when we talk about organizing ourselves. We don't care if you don't like Farrakhan. Farrakhan got a program to get our black men off of drugs. Farrakhan got a program to make black men don't want to return to prison. We don't. He might say crack or that. We don't care about that. You care about that. We practicing the simple selfishness of survival.
Yeah, yeah. It's the fear, though. I think the fear is the number one force,
Right.
That we allow to impede that process.
Right.
You know, a lot of us are afraid to offend.
Most of us are afraid. I would say
we're afraid they'll hear something in this program and be, oh, they talking that that black stuff, or you know,
anytime
I don't
on
know.
a program we talking that black stuff.
So it's a fierce and innate fear of what other people think. And so, you know, and we attempt to appease.
Self-hatred is real.
We attempt to appease even the ones who are working and strategizing against our rise. We don't want to offend them. It's insanity to me.
You know what? Let me I do some community work in Ward 8 in Southeast. And you know one thing I've learned lately? That in Washington, D.C., on a political level, if you see a black male, a black man, that's in a position of power, he's going to be effeminate, soft, talk soft, girly. It's like this is what they promoting.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be a strong black male, just be a man.
Yeah.
Like society is against that.
You see that on all the mainstream media sites. You just turn the TV on or go watch a movie, and for the most part, all you're going to see is broken homes. That's when we're relating to us, family. You don't see no strong black family unit on TV no more. It's either a gay man, you know, or a broken family, or you know, some type of dysfunction within that unit. And that's deliberate. That's deliberate and systematic. And a lot of it, though, is people just are unaware. They're unaware of the manipulation that's going on behind the scenes. And so somebody like you and I come and talk about it, we seem crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you know, we seem crazy because, you know, if you've been conditioned socially all your life a certain way in this society, and then you hear a conversation, this is just a single conversation, talking against what you've been socially conditioned to accept.
Right.
We seem crazy.
You know what? To your point, when a person is in prison, the doors are locked so much you stop checking. And I remember one day I was in prison, and we were standing at the door for about 20 minutes, and somebody said, "I'm gonna check and see if it's open," and the door was open.
Wow.
But our mind was so conditioned
Wow.
to doors being locked that you didn't even try to see if it was open.
Wow, interesting stuff. Yeah, that's real. Okay, moving along from Kanye West. Again, we're talking hot topics. If you want to join the discussion, call us 240-455-5934. I'm in the studio with my dear brother, Edward X. Julius Malema, South African leader.
Taking land.
EFF.
Taking land from white folk.
Yeah.
With no compensation.
Yes.
So
So just real briefly, Julius Malema, for those who may not know who he is the current leader of the EFF in South Africa, and it's a facet of the political regime. I don't think they run the entire. I think I don't know how
military.
Is it the military? Oh, okay. So yeah, he's the leader of the military regime. Okay.
And he said that white people won't be compensated when they take the land. And
so he has a strong, thought out plan and is implementing it.
Redistributing the land.
Redistributing the land in South Africa away from the European farm owners and putting it back into the hands of black people. And the reason being is he said this was stolen land. They took our land, their ancestors took the land from our people. We're living in poverty. My people are suffering, living in poverty. you guys are benefiting, having all the, benefits of stolen land, and we want our land back. And of course, the Europeans, settlers, are fighting back against this. And so, go ahead.
Dr. John Henry Clark, in his book, Africans at the Crossroads, Who Betrayed the African World Revolution, he asks, can an illegitimate settler colony ever be legit? I'm going to ask that question again. Can a criminal settler colony, an illegitimate criminal settler colony, can it ever be legit?
If all parties agree.
If all parties agree.
If the if we're talking about land, let's say for instance land, if the people who was robbed of their land agree that it's okay for these people who robbed them to keep their land, then I guess it could be. What was your point? Can it be what's the word you use? Legit.
When you talk about colonialism in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, you talking about the European coming taking resources, oppressing people, right? And if this has been going on for a long time, that because it's been going on for a long time doesn't make it right. I think it was Dick Gregory, he was talking about law. Legality don't mean right. Slavery was legal.
That's right.
So
Jim Crow.
Right, was legal. So when we talk about South Africa, white people coming in there, stealing the resource, colonizing that land, and taking the diamonds, and developing themselves, and black people are suffering.
Right.
The same thing happened in Zimbabwe.
Right.
And this is why sanctions is under Robert Mugabe.
Right.
And the same thing happened throughout Africa, South America, and other places where the white man went. Same with the Native Americans. Palestine.
What's the other down under? Australia.
Right.
We can go on and on.
So this is the modus operandi of the European. Right, and then he will try to put the propaganda down to make people feel that the people who resisting oppression are wrong, are doing something bad. And so that's why I wanted to point out Dr. John Henry Clark's statement: can an illegitimate illegal settler colony ever become legitimate?
Right.
Because this land that we live in, the United States of America, this land was taken, this land was stolen, and just because it's been stolen and they've been in possession of it for 500 years, does that make it legit? Does that make it legal?
Right. Going back to the point of like voting and the things that we do to conform to this society. It's like we've taken on the the construct of
the European. Our whole life, our perspective, our worldview is the exact same as the European. And if the European hates the African or hates the black people, and then our mind become one with his, then we hate the African or the black people. And we function like we hate the African or the black people. And this is displayed in Africa. This is displayed in our communities throughout America. The self-hatred is real. But it all is by design.
It's by design. It's conditioning too. It's like that's all you know. You don't know. When I hear people say, I'm not from Africa, I don't know, I've been here all my life.
Right.
And so again, it's the conditioning of the mind. So you forget about your great grandparents,
right,
or what have you, or or those who, you may, because we have this new thing now where I'm a Native American. So a lot of us feel like we have,
right.
we've been here forever. So although the cradle of civilization can be proven, it's been proven over and over again that it began in Africa. But some people feel like, I guess, anyway, I'm going on a different tangent. I want to stick to the point.
Okay.
But go ahead.
But what you were saying, it was highlighting, I was thinking about Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, because the brother just gave me this when we were out in the hallway. brother Daniel.
Yeah, he said they're about to put a lot of her speeches on YouTube. They're compiling a lot of the speeches.
Yeah, so brother Daniel used to work for Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. We used to go down Howard University to her events and
yeah, her speeches. But
right,
she spoke like
right.
every third.
And so when he gave me this was big. But the relevance is I see a decay of our mental health.
Yes, good point. Glad you brought that up.
I see a decay in our mental health, and I see black people displaying attitudes and behavior patterns that are not normal, that are abnormal, and so our dysfunctionalities have now been we trying to normalize them. Being dysfunctional. I've been like this is who I am. No, you're wrong. You need to address that. You need to work on that.
Right.
You can't just, this is me, this is who I am, accept
For
me.
instance, give me some examples of our dysfunction.
I'm gonna give you my own dysfunctionality.
All right. Hey, Ashe.
My own dysfunctionality. I was in prison.
Okay.
For 18 years, and that's unnatural.
Okay.
And when you're in an unnatural environment for 18 years, every act of disrespect in prison will get you killed. Mm-hmm. Like somebody step on your shoes, that'll get you killed. Mm. If you step on somebody's shoes in prison and don't make the apology clear, that'll get you killed. Mm. So everything in prison, that type of environment, is life and death, right? Mm-hmm. So when you take that type of mentality and put it in the society where every interaction is not life and death, then that becomes dysfunctional. That survival mode that is good for that environment, that becomes dysfunctional in a different environment. That's dysfunctionality. And so being aware that, I got to always be on guard within myself of my own dysfunctionalities.
When I hear you say that, what comes to my mind is like the way we've taken on forgiving these people for doing things like shooting. You shoot up a whole church full of people, and you get on the mic, and the first thing you say is, "I forgive them."
Right.
The little boy who shot up, your church members ain't even asked for forgiveness.
Come on.
And you quick to forgive people for evil deeds.
Right.
For me, in my mind, that's dysfunction. That's some conditioning, some things we've been conditioned and trained to do when it don't even make logical sense. It's like, eye for eye. It's just, you want to protect. You want to, if somebody's out to harm your seeds, the logical, righteous thing to do is to protect that seed, not cry and say, "Oh, I will forgive you," and then they do it over and over and over again.
And what's amazing about that? What's so amazing about that is that on one hand, we as black people, we go out of our way to show forgiveness. We go out of our way to ask for to let white folk know we forgive them and that we want to be your brother, right?
Right.
And white folk, on the other hand, go out of their way to show we ain't the same. Like it could be a video where police shot a brother. It was clear the brother didn't do anything. He didn't have any weapons. He was in compliance. It's clear. And we can see that video played out where a brother is killed. White folks say, "You don't know all of the evidence. You don't know what all that happened. You don't got all of the facts." It shows that we think different.
And not only do they tell you don't got all the facts, they show you because they let the killer off.
Right.
Most of the time.
Which shows we think different. It's like how we always resort to forgiveness and loving and long suffering.
Even if it kills us, though, that's my point. It's like if self-preservation is the first law of nature, and nature is God,
right?
And the laws to preserve yourself, you're not doing that,
right?
Then to me, you're going against the laws of the Creator.
Absolutely.
It's dysfunctional.
And the white man's dysfunctionality is the oppression of other people of color, black, brown, red, and yellow, and even poor whites. And that's what defines him.
Right.
That's his dysfunctionality.
Right.
His dysfunctionality is white supremacy.
Right.
Which is a thinking error.
This is a mental illness.
Yeah, only way he can survive is by putting other people down, and that's
Right.
why Winnie Mandela said there was a relationship between sexism and racism, because as the man seeks to define himself by putting women down, the white male seeks to define himself by putting other races down.
Oh wow, interesting stuff. Okay, family, this is the Empower Hour. I am AlQamar. We do this each and every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Always a different topic of discussion. Always something where no topic is taboo, as you can see. This is my brother, dear brother, Edward X, here to share the platform with me because Hanifa is not here with us today. And we're talking about hot topics, 240-455. 5934 if you want to get in on this discussion. I'm going to go into real briefly share with the family some of the things we do here at Everlasting Life, which is located at 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Everlasting Life is a full-fledged vegan restaurant, so much more. There is a lounge area as well that you can come and take part in a lot of different activities we do here. For instance, each and every Thursday is Children's Night. Children eat free as long as they're 12 and under and they're here with a paying accompanied adult. They get a full, healthy vegan meal for absolutely free. So come on and bring them out. They have a really good time together in the lounge area, playing together. That's every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. right here at Everlasting Life. Following that up is our Dinner and a Movie. I host that event most Fridays. So we air a different movie or documentary, something centered around us as a people, and we on the big screen. So you come, you grab yourself something to eat, have a good, comfortable seat, enjoy the movie, and then right after we have a discussion. We have a group discussion about what we've just seen. Always some very impactful discussions. So invite you out for that. That's free. Every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Every first Saturday of the month is our Black Wall Street Renaissance, where we take the lounge area, we fill it with small business owners. You can come shop, shop, shop. And not only that, then we open the floor up for entertainment's sake. So we always have something different every month going on stage. This first Saturday is our lecture workshop titled Mind Your Own Business. So if you're one of those individuals out there that had one foot in the corporate America and one foot out, and you really want to start to do your own thing, you want to run your own business, you have a great idea, you don't know how to start, you're a little bit fearful and what it takes to jump out there and start your own business, you want to join us for this event. This event is going to be phenomenal. We have 5 speakers coming. Irritated Genie is one. I don't have time to tell you about it all, but I can guarantee you that you're going to have some very good quality information to get you started on minding your own business. That takes place this Saturday, November the 3rd, from 12 to 6 p.m. It's an all-day bazaar, but the lecture series starts at 2, from 2 to 5. So come on and join us for that. Marketplace, third Saturday of every month, we do another marketplace. So if you're in the market for fresh produce, herbs, spices, vegan groceries, organic, natural supplements, things of that nature, you want to be right here every third Saturday at Everlasting Life. That takes place from 11 to 4 p.m., 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Hey, guess what? Your girl here is about to start a whole new program. Did you know that? No. We're rolling out a new program right here on eLife Studios called Consumer Business Report. I'll be hosting that event. So if you're a small business owner, if you have a product or service out there that you want to get in front of a larger audience, thousands of people and viewership in a fun, exciting way, come on, give us a call here or go online. You can find more information about that under Consumer Business Report. And right now it's the ground floor, so we have some unbeatable prices going on. So you come on and I interview you. It's going to be like a home shopping network scenario for black businesses. That's the goal. So be on the lookout for that coming up soon. broadcasting call. If you see what we're doing here and you have a voice out there that you want to get in front of a larger audience, consider joining our team here at eLife Studios. We have a phenomenal rate going on that you can't beat nowhere else. $25 an hour per session that you want to air, and that includes full engineering. Again, that's only $25 an hour for full engineering if you want to host your own show. So consider us here at eLife Studios. You can find us fairly easily by Googling the name. All right, back into the discussion. What were we talking about? Well, let's jump into another discussion. Real quick, did you know Venezuela dropped the dollar, which is a trend that's going on right now? So the Venezuela government just announced last week that they will be no longer using the dollar. So
American dollar.
The American dollar. They're going to be going into the.
Look at you talking about economics
Well,
on the Empower Hour. I see you. Yeah, okay.
We got to get the full spectrum, and it's important to know.
Okay.
You know what is going on around us.
I appreciate you in this show. I appreciate what you do. I got to hook you up, and I'm gonna say this on air. Do you know brother Jahar Abraham?
Rings a bell, but tell me about him.
He was one of the co-founders of Peaceaholics.
Okay.
He has some great work going on in Ward 8.
Okay.
Community organizing. And you have to bring him on the Empower Hour. I got to bring Brother Jahar because the man needs to be heard.
Okay.
You ever talk to somebody and when you get through talking to them, you say, brother or sister, you need a bigger audience. The people need to hear you.
Yes.
And so he is one of those brothers that
okay.
you got to bring him on there.
Okay. All right. Respect. Well, we make sure we work around getting that done. So yeah, if you didn't know, the Venezuelan government is no longer going to be using the American dollar. They're going to be using the what's the other English?
Euro.
Yeah. They're going to the euro instead, and this is a trend. So there's a lot of different countries now either dropped or moving towards dropping the dollar. So the Russia and China are banding together, and you know they're looking to do the whole thing with BRIC, Britain, Russia, India, and China linking together. In India, I heard from what I understand, they put some sanctions. America put sanctions on India recently, and putting some stringing holds on them as well. So they're looking to maneuver around the dollar as well. So that's kind of what the trend is, and I think that's what we see America going into a lot of these nations and bullying, strongholding.
Right.
And a lot of that's the reason. The reason America is so mighty and so powerful is because they are the dominant dollar in the world, and now that's being threatened. And so what they're trying to do is hold on to that power.
Right.
And so that's why they implement all these sanctions and overthrow governments and do a lot of those other things militarily, because the whole end goal is to maintain power. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there for those who did not know. So, you might want to, just be prepared. Be prepared for whatever.
Whatever is to come.
Yeah, no doubt. Have you seen the movie The Hate You Give? Yeah, this new movie that's just came out this past weekend.
You about to put me on a spot.
Uh-oh.
I went to see Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I went to see Halloween. You got me.
You could have left that. You could have saved that one.
I'm trying to stop wearing a mask. I'm trying to be honest and real. I'm trying to, what you see is what you get.
That's one thing I admire about you, though, because you do. You'll just be like, oh God. Sometimes we be places and you would say something, I'll be like, oh God, did he just say that? But you're getting the real. Like you said, you're getting the real. Mm-hmm. But yeah, The Hate You Give, I saw that in North Carolina this past Saturday. I was there for the weekend, Sunday, and with my family, and we took the children. They didn't want to go either. They were like, I want to see Goosebumps or something else is out there. And I was like, we need to, get these children out in front of these type of movies.
Right.
It's important. And
what's the name of it?
It's called The Hate You Give. I highly recommend it. If you guys have not seen that movie, see it. and take the children. It was very well done, very well done. It was better than I ever anticipated, you know, better than I anticipated. It was moving. The brother who wrote the movie 7 Years a Slave, he was the producer.
Okay.
Yeah, and so very moving, very thought-provoking, very relevant. It was a very good movie. It was called The Hate You Give. I highly recommend it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're not going to go on that because you haven't seen it. And I don't want to give away no more than what I just said.
I might go see it tonight.
What do you think about these weather patterns? All these major record-breaking storms.
Every time I hear about the weather and the irregularities of the weather, I always think about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Say, watch the weather.
Watch the weather. But I don't, see, I'm a Muslim, but I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not this and then because it implies that somebody else is. So I don't want to say that. But my Islam is not like.
You're not a zealot? Is that what you're trying to say?
Define zealotry. Because I might be a zealot.
Zealot is somebody who is completely focused on that in which they are.
Well, I'm a zealot for black
no shades
people.
Of gray.
Black people. Black people.
Okay.
When I think as a member of the Nation of Islam, I think when I say Nation of Islam, black people. And I think that all black people are members of the Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. But I'm not, I don't have the mentality that says one day 30 to 40 million black people will have on suit and bow tie and white head pieces.
Right.
I never, ever believed that.
Right.
So I don't think like that today. So to me, just us being black and being unified, I do believe that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is that voice for us that organizes us. But I don't think in terms, in the religious way, like the religiosity of most religious people.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the minister is a man of God. I do believe he's divine. I do believe, you know, all of the things that they may believe as well. But I'm not, I believe that each one of us has a responsibility in the liberation process. Mm-hmm. And all of the work can't be left on Minister Farrakhan's shoulders. I think that he's done his part. His job is a clear delivery of the message.
Yes.
And it is our job to not be like, did you hear what Farrakhan just said? Hey, the minister just dropped it. No, you take that word.
Move
right?
on the message.
Right.
The movement.
There you go.
Yeah, I get you. So you're saying, you know, and that could be in the church. That could be in the mosque.
Right.
That could be on the street corner.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, that could be in the house,
right.
raising children. So yeah, I feel you. I agree with you there. Yeah. So, but watch the weather.
Watch the weather. Watch the weather.
Yeah.
You know, I remember 10-10-15. Remember I sent you that picture?
Yes.
At the Minister Hotel, 10-10-15.
Yes.
I've seen some things that would probably make me sound like a religious zealot and probably make me sound spooked out. Mm-hmm. But I've actually seen it with my own eyes, and you know, I'm not no person that go along to get along. My mother was murdered. My father been in jail since I was 6 years old. So you got to prove it to me. Mm. I'm not one of them people that you could just tell something to. Mm-hmm. My mother was murdered when I was 14. Mm. Mm-hmm. So my brain functions a different way. Mm. When they talk about God, you got to make God real with me. Mm. If that make any sense.
It does. And so, the weather.
The weather. Me be watching the weather. Every time I see the irregularities of the weather, I think about the minister and the book, The Fall of America, written by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. There's
a lot of things that man has predicted that has come to fruition. I mean, it's so many things that you can't just overlook it and think it's just coincidental. No,
right, and that's what I mean when I say
all those things he's saying. That's what
happen. I mean when I say I'm not no religious. Like I've heard this man say things, and it make you kind of spooky. Whoa, what the hell? And it happened just like he said it would happen.
Yeah.
And so because us as black people, we ain't never experienced anything like that. We talk about divinity, so watch the weather.
And when you think about it, it's like when you think about that, if you believe, you know, in the books, ancient books of the old, and that the God always sends a messenger to the people.
Right.
When did that stop? You know what I'm saying? So it was just at one time God sent messengers, not anymore.
Self-hatred.
So why would we think that
self-hatred prohibits us from thinking of divinity being applied to ourselves.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Wow. So we can't even see ourselves as God attempting to save us.
I'm gonna give you a scenario.
God sending us a message.
I'm gonna give you a scenario that's gonna make you laugh, right? We, the same people that don't believe God would send us nobody, right? I don't believe that. Man, you believe that God came in a person. I don't believe none of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. This same Negro that don't believe that God is interested in his affairs, this same Negro, he believed that God, the sovereign power of the universe, turned to a tree that was on fire and started talking without a larynx in the voice box.
Walk on water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The water opened up and the whole army walked through.
Feed a whole lot of people with a piece of bread.
You could be dead for 3 days and come back and take your life back.
So you believe all that.
A jackass can start talking with the voice of an angel. You can believe that, like
you believe all that.
You can believe that it rained for 40 days and 40 nights in a ship with every
in the
animal.
desert.
Every animal on the earth. Where did he get a kangaroo from? He went to Australia.
But you can't believe that God.
Right. Because he's interested in the black people.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting. Yeah. So the weather patterns, I just find it fascinating that all over the world there's record-breaking weather patterns and global warming.
That might be your most consistent quote from the minister too. You always say, "Watch the weather."
Watch the weather. Watch the weather. Now I do understand that global warming plays a role.
Okay.
It plays a part.
Okay.
You know, every cause has an effect.
Okay.
You know, we can't negate that either.
Okay.
But there's something to all these crazy. There's another storm mulling down in the coast of Mexico, down in Mexico, off the coast. So
and they followed it.
I think today.
And they follow those slave.
Patterns in the.
When the slave boats came.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. How much time? We got a few minutes left. How do you feel about all these white women calling the cops on us? Every time you turn around, you see something in the news where we're being harassed, basically, in this society. I've seen a lot of white women calling the police. The white woman called the police on a little boy, said he roped her when his backpack brushed up against her. The other woman wouldn't let the guy into the apartment building because his key code or what have you. There was a lot of different scenarios here lately. Woman called the police on a little girl who was selling some stuff out in front of the apartment, all that stuff. What do you think about all that?
I think that everything that we are witnessing, I think that the black man and the black woman in America is coming to birth. And when a woman is pregnant and coming to birth, the baby coming to birth, I think that black America is at that point of our awakening. And so we're going to witness all manner of evil coming from white people. Because of the time. It's the time and what must be done in the time in which we live. The time dictates what we should do, and time dictates what white people want to do. Because they living in the last days, so they're going to manifest more wickedness and more evil. If you read the scriptures of the Bible, in the beginning, the devil was a serpent. And then at the end, in Revelation, he was a dragon, which means that he evolved and developed to this last and greatest stage of evil. And so that's where we are today. So we expect to see white people display this type of attitude and behavior towards us. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man is the devil. And he said when the white man does bad, he's not surprised. The messenger of Allah said, I'm only surprised when he does good. And the Quran says that the messenger of Allah believes what has been revealed to him from his Lord, and so do the believers. So I believe, like Elijah believed, that the white man is the devil.
I heard something recently that said this stuff is not being, it's not new, it's being uncovered. So, and it went on to say, we got to just hold each other close and keep peeling back the veil.
Right.
And I thought that was wisdom. It's like we see these things and we shocked and all like, oh my God, look at what's happening. Well, There's always been oppression. There's always been systematic racism. There's always been abuse. There's always been the Ku Klux Klan. There's always been people in power oppressing us as a people. And so, but we see these things more and more and more. We think it's all new.
That's what
lynchings.
That's
and
what
you go down the list.
Julius Malema said that.
Yeah.
He said when we hear Trump going on Twitter, he said Trump is no different than other white people.
That's right.
What Trump is saying, white people have been saying.
Right.
And so
Right.
that goes to your point.
Right.
That is so true.
Yeah, I think we just tuned in more. I believe we have run out of time.
So, thank you for having me.
Yes.
Sister Hanifa, I hate that you had to be missing for to bring your brother up in here. So, it's always a pleasure.
What
Thank
are you doing these days? Share the people what you're doing at the issue. I know you're doing Arabic classes, right?
Yes, I have
So-
Arabic class when I leave here.
Okay, this brilliant brother speaks 5 languages.
7.
Excuse me, 7. Shame on me.
Right.
Hey, take that too
Right,
from you.
right.
7 languages. So what? Tell the people where they can find you if they wanna.
I was Edward X, Die for the People on Facebook, but the white man said Die for the People is not your last name. I need to see a copy of your ID.
So you went all back again. You went back to the forward.
I wanted to keep my platform to talk to my people, so I went on and gave them the Ford thing.
Uh-huh.
So you can find me on Facebook under the name Edward Ford, the slave name Ford.
If they want to take your classes, is it open to the public?
Well, it's not free.
I know that. But is
Okay.
it open to the
Yes,
public?
I don't want nobody just pop up and then they get mad at me like, man, when you said I can come down here, you can come down.
How can they find more information about your classes? They want to take some Arabic classes, learn Arabic, right?
My name, my email address is brotherEdwardX@gmail.com. The whole word brother, BROTHER, brotherEdwardX@gmail.com.
All right, family, until next week, share the information. We are on Facebook under Empower Our Talk Show. We are on YouTube under Miss Free the People. That's MS
Miss Free the
People. So follow us on any of those handles for more impactful, insightful topics of discussion. Until next week. See you
Watch the
then.
weather.
Take care of each other. Peace.
Peace.